Happy holiday, friends! My name is Claire, and for this week's video, I'm going to be doing a Christmas Victorian home. This is built in the world of Willow Creek. It is 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it is built in the area by the golf house. If you are familiar with The Sims, you probably know where that is. I did take a little bit of inspiration from that house and implemented it into this house, like with the large fence around the front yard and then the gates. It is right across the street from the golf house, and so I feel like it kind of made sense to kind of implicate some similar items. So we are just going to be adding some deer into the front yard. This is not a pack restricted build. I do kind of go crazy with my packs in this build, but I am planning on doing a base game Christmas build soon. I'm just hoping to get a few more items from the new holiday event that is in the game, and so we are just going to be adding a picture. I wasn't sure at the beginning of this video when I was recording if I wanted to make the inside more modern and like have this kind of more 21st century, but I tried to keep it as true Victorian as I could, and I do know that like your Sims do need like TVs and like computers, so I hid the TV in this picture frame, and then the computer is the typewriter from the cottage living pack. So we are just going to be putting a beautiful Christmas tree by the front door, or by the front of the house. It is also by the front door, but I wanted your Sims to decorate it, or I guess you to decorate the tree however you want, and we're just going to be adding some presents by the tree, so hopefully that doesn't encumber your Sim's ability to decorate the tree. And we're just going to finish up this front area with some window treatment, and now we're going to be looking for a rug. I was really trying to keep with the color theme of red and green for this space, and so we are just going to be heading into the office, or like the parlor, in a moment. We're just going to first find a chair to put into the corner of the living room. Something kind of funny is I was trying to do like quests for the new Christmas event, and my Sim invited some other Sims to come over, and the Sim that my Sim invited to come over said that that chair was ugly and disapproved of it, and I just thought that was funny, so it's thought it would be fun to share. And now we're just going to be decorating the mantle of the fireplace, and that is from the vampires pack. That's one of the many packs I am going to be using for this house, and so now we're just going to be finding a table to go underneath the picture. And I really liked how this front area turned out. It just felt warm and welcoming, and just like a nice flow to the different spaces of the house. It is also a 2-story spot in that front area, so you can like look up onto the second level of the house. And so we're just going to be finishing up this front room with adding a little fireplace, care, poker. I don't exactly know what they are, but they seemed classic, so I added them. And now we're in the office, parlor, back room area. I'm not exactly sure what to call this space. I did add some hobby items like a art easel, a knitting box, and a cross stitch box. You'll only see the art easel because I realized like, oh, I was planning on adding those items but I forgot. So those items are in the final build, and so we're just going to be kind of floor planning, I guess, just kind of figuring out which items would look best where. So we are just going to be also adding a lot of these heating devices. I'm not exactly sure the proper name of them, but they seemed time appropriate, so I decided to add them in, I think, like every single room of this house. So I don't add it any in like the living room or the front room because of the large fireplace, but I thought it'd be fun to add it in literally every single room. So we're just going to be making this room feel cohesive with a lot of the same chairs throughout the space. And now we are going to be finding some artwork on to the walls, and now we are in the dining room. That office area took me a very short time to do because it is a smaller space, and now we are just trying to figure out if I want to do a big dining table or a small dining table. And I decided to go for the small dining room table because I didn't want to play test this house to make sure it was functional. I know that seems kind of weird that I wouldn't want to play test. I was just like in the mood to build, and like I didn't want to like disrupt the flow. So we are just going to be adding a little hutch that has like plates and different items like that. And now we are going to be adding one of the heating room heat devices, and so we're now just going to be adding some artwork. This room turned out very simple, and I think it might be one of my favorite rooms in this house. I do also like the little girl's room I designed. You have to see that in a little bit later in the video. So we're just going to be working now on the kitchen, and I'm pretty sure this might be bathroom tile that I'm using for the walls, but I feel like it matched well with like the creams from the hallway, and so I decided to keep it in to the bathroom and into the kitchen. So this kitchen turned out so cute. I think it's one of my favorite small little kitchens I've done, and so we're just gonna be finishing up this space with adding some upper cabinets and some clutter on the countertops. Even though this is a small kitchen, I still wanted it to feel lived in, so we are just going to be adding some curtains and then going to be adding some different decorations onto the counter. I did just try to keep it in one area so your Sims don't have to like go to the bathroom to prepare their food. Although when my Sim was playtesting this house, she did end up going to the bathroom to prepare the food. So I don't know how to fix that besides just getting rid of the bathroom or like redoing the bathroom, and I don't really want to redo the bathroom. So we are now on the backyard of the house, and I feel like doing a backyard in the snow was really hard because I didn't really know like what plants would be dead or alive, or if garden boxes would be appropriate to have in a winter home. But I do like the final product. You'll see during the screenshots if you stay towards the end that I do end up putting a fireplace from the Snowy Escape pack back here. And so we are just going to be making a little conversation spot, a little like hangout spot. I do also add monkey bars and a swing set for the kid. I probably should have said this earlier, but this is designed for a family of four, one set of parents, a child, and a infant. So we are just going to be going back into the dining room and adding a salt and pepper shaker into that space. And I feel like the couch needed a little bit more color, and so I come back into here to add some pillows on to the couch. This is from a like log on reward that happened somewhat recently, and so now we are going to be adding a rug to the outside, and this does not end up staying. So if you don't like rugs outside, don't worry, it doesn't end up staying. I just wanted like it to like have a nice tie-in, and I feel like the fireplace that I add does bring that nice tie-in to this backyard. So you can see we're just going to be adding the swing set now, and I really liked how this just kind of filled in the space, and your Sims can use this swing set and monkey bars all year round. So I feel like it was a good win for like not knowing what I wanted to do originally with the backyard. And now we are going to be adding some items into the half bath. This is a pretty simple half bath. And we're just going to be finishing up this room with a rug. Most of these items in this bathroom are from the Vampires pack, and I do reuse the same toilet through the other two bathrooms. And so now we are on the second level. We're going to be starting this area off with the landing space. And I said this at the beginning of the video, but this is like a cool spot where your Sims can like look down onto like the entryway of the house, or the entryway can like look up into this lofted landing space. And so we are just going to be decorating this simply. There's a lot of like doors in this space, and so I was trying to make sure nothing was cumbersoming them or like conflicting the movement between the doors and these like more decorative items. So we're just going to be starting off in the little girl's room. I made this pretty and pink for this girl, and you can see now we're just going to be making sure I have all of the heating devices in each room except for the bathroom. I wasn't sure if I needed to have that in the bathroom. So first we're going to be starting off with picking the bed, and at first I thought adding the bed from Seasons would be cool, but I feel like this didn't really fit the Victorian theme, and so I ended up using this one from the base game with a matching dresser, and it doesn't actually end up being that dresser. It ends up being a different dresser with a matching side table, and I feel like that just looked better, looked more not like used, I guess. And so we are just going to be going and adding some different like kids items. I do come back to add a dollhouse into the space, and I think it was kind of funny because it's a new dollhouse that came with the Storybook Nursery kit. And like I said earlier, the house right across the street from the house that I am doing is the goth house, so I thought it would be funny to have like the pink version of the goth home in this little girl's home. Like that would be kind of weird, realistically, to have a dollhouse replica of your neighbor's house, but it's The Sims. I thought it was funny, and what you're going to do. So we are just going to be adding some artwork, and this room doesn't get like the final touches until I add that dollhouse. But first we're going into the bathroom. I just kind of needed to step away, kind of like come back to it because like I wasn't sure what I wanted to add, or like what else I needed to add. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to come into the bathroom and also do the nursery space. And so we're just going to be adding some bathroom items, and I wanted to use these sinks from the Snowy Escape pack because I don't like it when people only use like one item from one pack. Like I want to see multiple items from one pack, and so I try to implement that myself. And so that's why I'm using these Snowy Escape sinks. I said earlier that I am going to be using the fireplace from the Snowy Escape, and I also used the mailbox from Snowy Escape. I wanted to have the mailbox on the wall, and I don't know, that seemed kind of realistic to a Victorian home, and so I wanted to add add to this home. So we're just gonna be adding a Christmas tree into the bedroom. I realized that this room doesn't have that many like Christmassy things besides the door is red, and so I wanted to add a Christmas tree. I know some kids have Christmas trees in their rooms, and sometimes kids don't have Christmas trees in their rooms, and I wanted this kid to be just slightly spoiled, and so I added a Christmas tree into their room. And now we are in the nursery. I think this nursery is just like slightly bigger than the kids' room, but there's also a lot of bigger items from the nursery kit, and they're all new to me, and so I wanted to use them. This isn't my first time using this nursery kit. If you want to see my first build with the nursery kit, you can go over to my Instagram, green_rose_sims, to see that room. I was trying to design that room for two sisters who are princesses, but this room is designed for a boy, and you can see that pink dollhouse that I was talking about earlier. I feel like that room that just really completed the room, and so we are just going to be adding some curtains. I feel like this room is kind of more like mature because the infant obviously doesn't really know what it wants because it is a small human, and I feel like these parents have a more sophisticated style, and so I decided to kind of design more for the parents than the infant in this instance, and so we are just going to be adding a little dressers, making sure everything like didn't seem too claustrophobic. I feel like it made sense in a way to have this dresser by the door because it had that little bag that can hang off the hook. And so when the parents don't need that stuff, it's just easy to put away and easy to grab again when it is needed. And now we are in the primary bedroom. So this space is very cozy, I would say. I didn't want to like go too big with this room, and so we are just going to be adding some lamps from the vampire pack, and the bed and dresser and side tables and picture above the bed are all from the cottage living pack. I know it might be more like farmhousey, but I wanted it to also be kind of more simple in here since it is like a place of rest. I didn't want it to be like too like overwhelming, if you know what I mean. So we are just going to be adding some items into the bathroom as well as some items onto the dresser, and we are getting close to the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any more winter inspired builds for me, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to expand this like winter season on my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed watching this video, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I am a small content creator here on YouTube, and if you do those things, it would help get my videos to more people, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video. Bye!